sometimes the communication between my computers take a while.
Yeah.
Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
We are playing Please Be Happy. Thank you to Studio Alon for giving us a key to this game. I've had my eye on this company for a while because they make Yuri visual novels, and who doesn't like Yuri? But
Ooh.
to help me with reading today, we have
Oh, is this me?
this is your line.
Hi, I'm Heroynex. I'm Heroynex. You can call me Hero for short.
Perfect. And you do the streaming thing as well.
I'm not Well,
Well, you do it, but you're not doing it
I
today.
do the streaming, but I'm not streaming right now.
Right. If y'all don't remember, we actually rated them yesterday when they were doing BDSP. So
Yes.
how did your BDSP stream go yesterday?
My boyfriend killed a baby Pichu, which took down my Pikachu. And I've managed to make it through this entire this entire foggy area to get to this town without any defogging moves whatsoever. So I'm like, yay, I'm cracked.
I forgot how bad BDSP makes you use HM moves. And I'm just like, I don't want to have a Bidoof that it was like Surf, Strength, Rock Smash, and Defog. It's so annoying.
Yeah. I've never played like Gen 4 properly before, so I am jumping straight into a soul lock with Gen 4.
Hey, you know what? That was the same mood for me because I had never played it, but it was my wife's like second time. She was like, "Yeah, it should be fine," and she was like, "Man, this game sucks."
Yeah, I was told that it's the hardest thing to nuzlocke, and it's like I've heard about Platinum and everything that it is like one of the most difficult ones to do, and I'm just thinking, well, it can't be as difficult as Ultra Moon, where you have Litten as a starter, because apparently that's hard mode for nuzlocke.
I'm assuming Litten's your favorite.
Nah, my favorite in Gen 7 is Popilio, the seal.
You like the seal?
I like the seal. It's my favorite.
I like how everyone's like, whenever they do the base, here's a Pokemon based on your vibes or your look, they're like, you're Litten, and I'm like, I don't like Litten. I like Rowlet out of all of them.
Yeah.
I may be a cat VTuber, but I really love Rowlet. But I think it's because of the anime.
Yay.
But let's go ahead and jump on into Please Be Happy. And like we mentioned off stream, I noticed that there is some parts to where it is the voices are already speaking. So if that's the case, we'll just let it speak, let the voice actors go crazy with it. And if there's any parts to where we have to talk, then we'll divvy up the parts and we'll go from there.
Okay. Oh, is it possible to share the screen?
Oh,
share the game
you know what? I
Discord?
should do that. Give me one second. I was like, wait a minute. I knew I was forgetting something. Is it share your screen and it is
you share screen and it's the game. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. All right.
There we go.
All right. So I'll minimize.
Audio and visual is good on my end.
Perfect. So now you can hear what the characters sound like and make sure that we're not like lagging a little bit.
So, yeah, that's fine.
I completely forgot about that, but yeah, you're right. All right. So let's jump on in. I guess I'll do the narrator bits, and we can flip-flop back and forth between the narrator because, again, it'll tire me out if I do all the narrator.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Fog settled over the forest, far from the villages and towns, and with it came silence. Birch trees shivered, pondering the weather, and dropped their leaves in fright. Streams bubbled, unseen by man, and babbled like the birds in the trees. You can go ahead and have this part.
In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen. Once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro, mushrooms cloud-like and pillory, sprouted across one side like a footpath for fairies. Nearby, an old toad flopped contentedly in the mud. And inside the deep, damp hollow of a tree, something slept. A traveler strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like greeting an old friend. Weary from the day's journey, the traveler sat to take a rest. With a scrabbling of nails on rotten wood, a shadow bolted from the inside the log to the tall grass nearby. The traveller watched the brush rustle as a faint patch of fur appeared within. Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you. They held their hand towards the grass, offering a piece of dried dish. Dried fish. Dried fish.
All good, all good.
Oh yeah, I will be butchering words a lot.
Oh, don't worry, I will too.
At first, there was no reaction, and then... First, a snout appeared, quivering as it tested the air, then followed the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny, as she took several slow steps forward. Her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with wild curiosity. The strangers sat unfazed, their offering still outstretched. The dare to meet the fox's eyes in that glance felt something kindred. As the fox closed her jaws around the gift, a bond was made. Maybe we weren't so different, you and I. The traveller returned the next day, and the day after that. Each day, they brought some treat for their new friend. Each day, the fox's steps grew a little more trusting.
One day, oh, sorry.
Sorry, yeah, you go ahead. I
Yeah.
got carried away.
It's all good, it's all good. Like, I was like, I'm letting you read a lot, and I feel kind of bad.
It's alright.
So I'll do this part, and then again, when we get to like character parts, I think like the white text, I think you can, I'll let you have, because it looks like it's gonna be a lot of that.
Okay.
And
yeah,
that part
fine.
will tire me out.
Cool.
One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
Hello, my friend.
Oh, there's our voice acting.
Have you been waiting long?
The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet then and there. The travelers sat, imprinting into their mind the feeling of the wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship.
Where is your home, little fox? Is it here in this grove? Or do you come to see me too?
You know, I didn't know. I'm going to assume that it's supposed to be a woman, but like the voice, like the presentation, I'm like, I thought this was a guy for a second.
It's interesting.
This will be the last time, I'm afraid. Because I'll be going home tomorrow. Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world. Yet, it's some place I can't wait to return to.
How's the volume on your end? Do I need to turn it up a little bit?
If game could be turned up a little smidge. Oh, actually, that might be a me problem. Hang on.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll check. I can do my volume mixer real fast.
I should be all right.
I'll turn the game capture just a little bit higher.
Okay.
I wish I could bring you with me, little friend.
All right. That should be
wish that
fine.
you could see the world too. Your home is all around me, though, isn't it? It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall. Little fox, perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
All too soon, it was time for the traveler to go. As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would not return, but that they would always carry the memories with them always. The next day, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
Aww, poor little thing.
Oh, we got a trophy.
Nice.
Thank you for flying with Kiwi Airlines, and we hope to see you again.
Okay, so I'll let you do this part now.
The intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding, just like the clatter of the seatbelts and the chattering of passengers getting ready to disembark. I wiggle around impatiently, saw from crouching in here for... I don't even know how long it's been. Hours for sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. A parade of footsteps begins to pass by outside my door. It's time. I listen carefully, waiting for a gap in the crowd. When it comes, I stand up and push the door open in a single movement. I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I stepped out... Oh my god. I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I stepped out in front of. She doesn't even have time to gasp before I'm out of her sight. Humans. Oh, I was kind of slow. I nod at the smiling flight attendants as I pass her by, and then I throw up my hood to cover my face. It's been a while since I've last flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been harder to sneak on than it is to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway and step out into the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath and savor the fresh air before being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skyport, New Zealand.
I made it!
A breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the skyport. A few clouds drift lazily overhead, almost within an arm's reach. The sound of the waves rolling onto the shores like a lullaby. It makes me want to burrow into the sand and take a nap. But I can't. First, I need to get out of here. And there's one more challenge ahead.
On a side note, like, this is supposed to be set in New Zealand, but, like, I don't know why they made it... Because, like, they put it in the description that it's a fictional Wellington, New Zealand. As well as, like, it's set in New Zealand, so why did we use different characters instead of... I'm assuming New Zealand uses English, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, New Zealand should use English.
And, like, it's supposed to be, like, New Zealand isn't real. Okay, listen.
Up ahead, the snaking line of passengers splits as people are funneled into a few security stations. While I'm too far back to hear what the guards are saying, it looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveller before letting them pass. Humans sure like processes and procedures. Yep. I definitely don't have a booklet like that. Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window would work, or even an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is to go through security. Without any other option, I join one of the lines and prepare myself. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. The line moves briskly as passengers are cleared one after the other, and I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As the passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen closely.
Good afternoon. Passport, please.
Right here. It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
He stamps something in the man's booklet, then hands it back to him, and he continues on out of the skyport.
Next.
That's me. I don't know what they do to people without any papers, but I don't want to find out. I'm sure it involves lots of questions, being escorted around, and other unpleasant stuff. Casually approaching the gate, I put on my brightest, friendliest smile while keeping a slight distance, with my breath steadily and tail calm. I'm sure I put on a convincing act.
Passport, please.
Of course.
I fumble around in my pockets, pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab the useless chunky phone I've been carrying around and let it clutter to the ground at the guard's feet. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it for me.
Oh, let me get that for you.
And I make a run for it, bolting ahead and rushing past the security booths as quickly as I can.
Yeah, you can't do that at an American airport. An American airport, you'll get tackled.
Absolutely. I think same with the British airport as well.
Hey, you wait.
Stop!
By the time they realize what's happened, I already had a few seconds head start. My inhuman speed combined with the natural chaos of the skyport should also buy me a bit of time. Still, I gotta get them off my tail. Gotta go fast.
Do I click anything here? Or do I
think so.
Oh,
I think
yep.
you click on there. There we go. Dashing through the skyport doors and out on the road outside. I don't even have time to take in the city. Without stopping for breath, I run into narrow streets while weaving between cars and shocked bystanders. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it won't matter by tomorrow.
steal a car?
Yeah. Boom. Putting the thought out of my mind, I vault over a low wall into a nearby alley and land in a crouch. Out of sight, but only for a moment, I close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feeling disappears, except a slight warmth against my neck.
Okay, I'll let you take a breather so I'll
Yeah.
read a little bit.
Okay.
My secret weapon. The unremarkable looking necklace is one of my only possessions, and by far the most important. A certain one of the beads strung around my neck begins to heat up in response to my will, a soothing warmth flowing through my body. My hands and feet begin to morph first, the fur chasing up my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. Their sensation was so bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing how it's become second nature by now. Closing my eyes, I let my body and head shift and turn. The face is always a little uncomfortable, the once human face changing and lengthening to a snout with some difficulty. The process complete after only a few seconds, I open my eyes, not as a human, but as a fox. I dart away without waiting, far quicker on 4 legs than I ever could be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead would be a pain to get past as a human. But instead, I'm able to flit between the gaps without slowing down.
That's her! I know it!
How do you know?
Probably the ears and
The-
the tail.
True, like, I don't know in this world if she's supposed to be, like, hiding that she's a fox, or if they're, like, just common. It's like, ah, yeah, that's a kitsune. They're tricky like that. You didn't even yell persona? Okay, listen. Sounds- Sounds like the security guard hasn't given up on me yet. I pick up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. His heavy breathing gets farther and farther away, and in just a minute or two, I know I'm safe. I don't know where I am, but it's not like I knew where I was when I started running. Almost feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. Even in the crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything that can outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me. Comfortable that the danger's past, I slip into another alley. Once I'm sure that I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on the form I want to take once more. The familiar flowing warmth runs through me again, my body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, I open my eyes to glance at my hands.
Better luck next time.
Brushing the dust off myself, I nonchalantly stroll out of the alleyway and back into the street. The odd person walks by on this errand or another, not paying any attention to me, just the way I like it.
Left, right, past turn, left.
Mapping out my path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings there. I pick turns at random, without any real destination in mind. When I decided to make the journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I overheard another pair of travelers talking about it, and how beautiful a city it is. The moment now to take in the scenery, I could see they weren't wrong. The streets around here seem like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything is very colorful. Even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. In the distance, I can see green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills, and I look around some. From just a few streets away, the sound of pedestrians and busy intersections floats my way. I head in its direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when it's convenient. Ah, the pride flags, let's go.
Yes.
In one lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past. When I transform and growl right back, he tucks his tail and runs away. Dogs and I have always had an understanding. Thank for the water, I needed that. After squeezing through one last narrow side street, I finally emerge onto what looks like a main road. No cars here. Tons of people on foot. Okay, I'll let you have this.
Yep. There are brightly coloured signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle of the street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part is the variety of stores. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can already tell that I will be able to do most of my shopping around here.
Oh no.
There are stores with food and clothes and just about everything else. I don't have any money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Dodging a couple of the security guard is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll just have to remember where this place is and make another visit later. After all the shops are closed. Then, a man in a bright coat hurries past me, talking loudly on his phone in a language I don't recognize. He was so distracted he didn't even notice when his wallet falls out of his pocket and onto the sidewalk. I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity, I zip over and snatch it up, prying open the black leather pockets. I find... a couple of bills in what I figured was the local currency. I slide the money out and into the pocket of my jacket.
What is the currency for New Zealand? It's not dollars, is it?
Oh, let me have a look. New Zealand.
Oh, well, is it? Oh no, because my computer's automatically converting the American dollar to a New Zealand dollar.
New Zealand dollar, it says, yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah. New Zealand dollar.
Oof. A New Zealand dollar is equivalent to 57 American cents.
Yeah, 1 New Zealand dollar is equivalent to 45 pence in pound sterling. Damn.
I just not realize, why does I do like that it's all birds. I do like that part, but why is the queen on one of them? I don't have a lot of New Zealand knowledge or lore history. I don't know if it was a British territory or not.
I would not know either. It would make sense. Let me see. Apparently, they're close partners with a shared history, culture, and values. Okay. New Zealand was a British colony from 1841. New Zealand supported Britain in both world wars. Yeah, New Zealand and the UK worked together in the United Nations, the Commonwealth, and World Trade Organization. Yeah, we just have a lot of ties together.
Edmund Hillary, one of the first people to climb Everest on one of New Zealand's dollars. Okay, I'm assuming that's the guy who's on the 5. I have it pulled up of the 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100, and the Queen's on the 20. Okay, so we're finding stuff out about New Zealand.
Yeah, slowly. All I know that it's got it's got kiwi birds, and that's when they filmed, I think, a lot of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, was it New
That's
Zealand?
wh-
I'm pretty sure it was.
yeah, New Zealand. They have like the whole tour and everything with the hobbit holes.
Right. The only reason why I want to go to New Zealand, honestly, that because I love birds. So I want to see kiwis.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so. Oh yeah, I didn't realize there was a new sentence.
No, it's all good.
By
It's all
now,
good.
By now, the man is so far ahead he is almost out of sight. I have to hurry to catch up to him to give back his wallet. And he barely even says thank you.
I should have just kept the whole thing.
That's a mood. It's only fair I get a little something for myself, since it's not like he would have ever gotten it back without me. Hey, currency! I head back to my bench and inspect my prize.
Here's the other thing too. Is like they said it's a fictional Wellington, New Zealand. If it was fictional, why didn't we just make new money instead of getting the actual $5 bill? Because we just saw this on stream that it's the actual one. So we could have made up fake money.
Yeah.
Because they're also like he's speaking in a language that I don't know, and I'm like, okay, so I mean he could be speaking the New Zealand language that they're making up in this, or is it? I don't know.
They could be a tourist. as
True.
well. A blue bill and a brown one. These feel sturdy. Nothing like the paper I expected.
1, 0, 10, and 5. So 15.
That is my mental that is me trying to do math.
Same. That is exactly the same.
Because I'm just God, just trying to do basic math hurts me.
Yeah, same. 15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet.
$15 gets you a whole McDonald's meal in America.
Yeah.
Of course, actually, no, this would be half of that because $1 American dollar or $1 New Zealand dollar is 50 cents. So that'd be like $7.50, maybe $9 total American. Yikes.
That I think the $5 or $10 will at least get you something like a meal and a drink from Greg's at least.
God.
And that's in the UK.
Here's the thing is that I visited and I came to the UK for 2 weeks this past October.
Okay.
And I absolutely it's gonna sound very touristy, right? But I absolutely loved Greg's.
Yeah, Greg's is peak.
Because my friend was like, "Hey, if you ever have a chance, go to Greg's. You're not gonna regret a sausage roll." And I'm like, "Wait, this stuff costs like I can get 4 of them for this much? That's wild."
Yep. Yeah, personally for me, Greg's sausage rolls are mid. But I love the pizza slices and I love the other pastries.
The pastries were pretty good because Peanut can't eat pork, so she got the curry bun and a couple other other pastries.
The curry bun. Oh, the katsu curry one?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that was the only curry pastry that they do. They do chicken bake, steak bake, cheese and onion bake. They do cheese, beans, and sausage. They used to do a vegan one and then they stopped that one.
Yeah, she got the vegan bake and she got the chicken bake for sure. I remember that much.
Yeah, I know they swapped in for a vegan bake for something. I know they used to do a vegan cheese, beans, and sausage version.
What's a festive bake? Someone in chat's talking about it.
Oh, yeah, that's my husband. Festive bakes, that is a seasonal thing that we release over November, December, so Christmas time. So it's basically, I think it's either chicken or turkey. I forget. But it's with cranberry and this, that, and the other. So it's basically like a Christmas, like a little Christmas pastry.
Oh, okay, that's neat. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so festive bakes are often a bestseller from Greg's when it comes to over Christmas, alongside the little Christmas drinks. For example, like a mint mocha, salted caramel, chocolate, and stuff like that.
It's just funny because like I think the equivalency of Greg's to America, I guess, would be like a 7-Eleven. But even then, like you go to like a 7-Eleven and there's not gonna be much uniqueness. It's gonna be like, do you want a hot dog and a slushie? And I'm like, no, I'm just here to
Yeah.
get gas and use the restroom, honestly.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a bit distracted.
It's all right. Oh well, at least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. My thirst is starting to get the better of me, and I haven't had anything since I snuck onto the airship. Following my nose, I walk down a busy street until I find one of the many cafes lining the path. The sign hanging above The sign hanging above his front door has a picture of a bell on it. Charming bell rings out from above the doors as I enter. I can't help but savor the wave of refreshing, cool air washing over me, which feels even better after so much running.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House.
Okay, so it looks like anthropomorphized people is normal in this universe.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
it makes sense, yeah.
Okay, I'll go from here.
Okay, yeah, cool.
The barista behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now. As I nod in greeting, and she leans forward with a cup in one hand and a pen in her other.
What can I get you? We're having a special on affogatos if you want to try one. Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only 5.
Ooh, a bargain.
I would actually take that because avocado is like ice cream and coffee question mark. It's been a while since I've looked up coffee stuff. But yeah, no, that's kind of expensive already, but $5, I'll take it.
Yeah?
I'd like a...
I'm not sure what an affogato is. Isn't that a vegetable? I wanted to commit to this strange sounding drink. I looked at the menu instead. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten spindly letters. I can't read a single word, and there are no helpful pictures. Safe option it is.
So, an affogato is an Italian dessert comprising a scoop of gelato or ice cream, either plain milk flavored or vanilla, topped in a hot espresso.
Okay, so yeah, it is a ice cream coffee treat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
doesn't sound too bad. Again, for $5, like I know I can't go off of like Starbucks logic because Starbucks like overcharges.
Oh yeah, they do. Expensive.
Affogato pricing. Okay, an affogato can cost between $4 and $7, depending on where you order it. Okay, fair enough. But I mean, it depends on like who's like selling it, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's still $5. I would take that.
Yeah, I'd take that. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just have a vanilla latte. Ugh, boring. But okay.
Rude.
Rude. Okay. Like, I'm sorry that you like. I get it. I used to be a barista, but I enjoyed and hated my job just because like people. I would have, because living in America, you do have that person who comes in and they're like, hey, so I can't have coffee. I'm like, okay, first of all, why are you here? They're like, okay, I can't have coffee, but I'd like to have some anyway. Okay.
Okay.
And my manager made an exception for this lady to where she would bring in her own coffee grounds. It was like a special medical coffee ground to where it didn't have as much caffeine. And we had to like do a special brew just for her. And I'm like, we're using so much resources just for her. And he's like, it's fine. I'm like, what about the other coffee cups? And he's like, we could worry about the other customers later because most of them just order it black and they didn't. And I was like, great. I have to like use a whole machine for this lady who's only gonna drink like 2 cups and leave.
Bruh.
It made me so mad.
Mio.
It's my first time testing out how that name sounds. I decided that I like it. I decided on the airship that was the name I would use here in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life, I can't remember most of them. For each new city that I visit, I come up with something new. Foxes don't have any use for names, so nobody ever gave me one. Scribble something on the cup with a black marker. That's how this name looks? I'm even more pleased with it.
450, please.
I hand her the brown bill. She gives me back a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
All right. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
She sure seems enthusiastic. I nod as she spins around and starts working. Looking about somewhere to sit, I decide on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. Near the entrance of the cafe, there's a wire rack with a stack of maps and tourist pamphlets, so I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. This cafe is big and bright, with plants everywhere. They're on the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hang down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with little shrubs in them. Seems like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it is more comfortable to me than places without.
I guess I should find a place to stay.
Looking down the map I took, I traced the path I made from the port to this cafe. It's useful, but doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. I need to find a higher vantage point. I move my finger along the hills I noticed from outside, following the little brown path to a patch of green with a little mountain icon. That should work for now.
Miho!
My ears perk up, right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks.
I reach over and take the warm cup in my hand, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow? Huh?
What?
It's gonna rain tomorrow.
I glance behind me out the window. It's as sunny and blue as the day as I've ever seen.
How do you know that? There aren't any clouds out there. I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget, then you'll be sorry.
She finally lets go of my drink and heads back behind the counter. People are weird. Does the barista pull that on everyone? Alright, I'll let you have this now.
Standing on the doorstep, I have my first sip.
Oh, this is really good.
Oh, some good shit. It's pretty plain, but it's well made. But the coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inwards as I sip the warm drink.
Ugh.
My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole life being spent trying, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So I've taken to simply wandering, going wherever I wish at the time.
Real, most likely not alive anymore, sadly. Because isn't this like Korean ancient garb, if I'm not mistaken?
Either that or an entirely different country where they are from. They did say that they were from somewhere that's not. What is it? Somewhere that's not here and there?
I believe she's.
Are they from? Are they from Narnia?
Okay. Born as a. I'm looking at the Steam page. Born as a fox in the forests of Korea. So Miho's from Korea.
Ah.
So I'm guessing that's Korean garb, but at the same time, it's like if I'm not mistaken, again, that's old garb.
Yeah.
Peanuts watched her fair share of K dramas, and so
Mhm.
that's how I remember it.
Yeah. My first travels. Oh yeah. I've already read this part.
Yeah, sorry.
I did, yeah. I've been itching for a change of scenery anyway, so I boarded, well, stuck onto the first airship that I could. The best part about owning nothing but the clothes on my back is that I can pick up and leave whenever I feel like it. I take a moment to get my bearings to look around. I see a tired looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hand. They stop outside one of the buildings, take a deep breath, and pat their face a couple of times and then go inside. They must not be looking forward to whatever's going to happen in there. Maybe they have to fight someone? Through the large glass windows of another store, a fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. The people waiting with her looked annoyed. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watch the various figures who stroll by. People watching is fun, especially in such a huge, especially in such a busy city. Eventually, I go sip my coffee, only to find nothing coming out. With no more reason to stick around, it's time to go. On a sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. There's a tall green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the perfect one on the map. It'll be the perfect vantage point for the city. Ideally, I find an empty building I could crash in, but it's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes it's better than sleeping in the bed. Encouraged by the plan forming in my head, I set off on a long walk to the summit. The path to the mountains turns out to be less simple than the map made it look. First, a trail takes me along the waterfront, then it turns upwards through a small forested area. Being among the trees and their tall shadow makes me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a little disappointed. It leads up a paved road, so I stick to the ledge to avoid passing cars. Sometimes I take shortcuts through yards and up unmarked paths. There were quite a few nice looking homes right along the roadside. I made a mental note to go check them out when I'm low on money or food. Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse of the city below. A couple airships are coming in to dock at the skyport, probably from one of the other floating islands.
Oh, okay. I
That
thought,
makes sense now.
because I was like, airships. Does she not know what an airplane is? But okay, this makes a lot more sense.
Yep. Still ways to go to the top of the mountain. But luckily, the walk has been easy so far. I wouldn't even consider it a hike. Eventually, I reach the final stretch of the road. I can see where it curves ahead of the summit, and I hurry to the end. A metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain. As I go to toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatting tourists pass me by.
How far is it from here?
Oh, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Mount Victoria.
Glad to know what this place is called. I say the name out loud to help commit it to memory. Standing at the edge, I'm treated to a wonderful view of Wellington. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set, and that's what makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can even see the edge of the floating island we're on, miles out in the open sky. I survey the city using the skyport as a reference point. From up here, what felt like such a long chase really doesn't look far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can even see the coffee shop from earlier. Is it the barista said it was called? The Bell House? It was kind of tough to make out the details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes aren't that much better than a human's. Then I noticed something useful.
Look! Is that our house?
Probably. What can you see from here?
I see Dad's car!
Not too far away, there's a little kid who's using a pair of metal tubes attached to the post. His mom is helping him aim at the city. It must be something that improves your vision. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get to them first. When I press my eyes to the same spot the child did, though, all I can see is black. I try moving it around, but it doesn't change. Busted. Text is printed on the side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot, though, with a picture of a coin next to it. Lucky for me, it's the coin that has a 50 on it. I put the coin that I received from the barista into the slot and spin the lever. The machine eats my coin, and when I put my eyes to it again, everything looks so much closer now. Even the trees on the other side of the hill appear in a crystal clear detail, like I'm standing right next to them. I aim the viewing glasses at the city and look around, trying to find a good place to rest for the night. Houses are a no-go, even if they look empty or abandoned. You can never let your guard down for a minute. Same with most shops, I don't have enough money for a hotel, and I won't risk sneaking into one of those either. As I'm studying the sights, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound, and once again, the view goes black. Stupid machine. I smack it a couple of times and check again. Still can't see anything.
Well, whatever. Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
I head back down the trail a little bit and veer off of it into the underbush.
I'll go from here.
Not
Yep.
perfect, but it'll do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab some water.
Okay. Not exactly the wilderness, but just about everything around here seems cityfied to some extent. Usually when I make a den, I prefer to find a place far from other people. A place where nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but this is good enough.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Once the trail I was on is out of sight, I transform again. My neck gets warm as my bead activates. A few seconds later, I'm on all fours. As a fox, the sensations of nature are much stronger. The earth beneath my paws is cool and refreshing. The breeze whips through my tails like a massage. I hurry down a hill covered in grass, so tall that it reaches way over my head. I can smell fresh water. I follow the scent to a small stream, where I'm able to quench my thirst. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got at that cafe, but in a different way. Being able to slurp up water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw, or worse, one of those lids with the tiny holes. For a little while, I follow my nose to some berries and some edible plants that'll do for a snack. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as satisfying as eating human food. I want a real meal tonight, and I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done now, while there's still daylight. I keep close to the stream and search for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area. A small valley with hills on most sides, and thick foliage on the others. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noise, but the area I'm in doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot that I settle on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it makes me feel better knowing that I'll be out of sight. And so I start to dig. My claws rip away the dirt as I burrow downwards, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit. First I dig forward, and then downwards, widening out an area that's big enough for my whole body to fit. This is something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. I think that's why I don't mind it too much. Compared to sleeping inside somewhere, it just feels right to me. Takes a little while. By the time I'm finally finished, the first few stars have started to peek out from the sky. I shake myself clean of the dirt that sticks to my coat and then transform back to my human form.
Spread this here, a couple of branches here, some leaves there.
I'll walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
If you weren't looking for it, I don't think you'd ever notice anything out of place. All that digging has made me work up an appetite, not the kind that'll be satisfied with just a few berries.
Ugh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
My stomach rumbles painfully. It's so busy since arriving here in Wellington, I kind of forgot just how hungry I was. I'll grab some human food back in town. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I set off towards the city.
Work
I'm a bit disappointed when I finally get back to the busy street from before. I was hoping that it would be emptier now, that all the stores would be closed. Turns out I was half right. A lot of the shops have gone dark for the evening. There are just as many people walking around now as there were earlier. In fact, might even be more. The patio of a restaurant has a bunch of tables full. A mermaid is sitting in the fountain I sat by earlier, chatting with a cyclops. Even the cafe that I visited is crowded now, with a line almost out the door. After pacing up and down the road for a while, I sit down and try to figure out what to do next. I'm not too worried about what would happen if I get caught stealing. I'd just escape, obviously. And even if they somehow manage to catch me, it wouldn't be an issue for very long. See, there's something different about me that makes me extra good at being a thief. Not just the skills I've practiced over the years, like picking locks and sneaking around. No, it's a bit more special than that. Without fail, every single person I meet forgets about me by the next day. I don't know why, but I don't really care either. It's magic. That's all I know about. Really useful magic. Everywhere I go, no matter how careless I am, all of my problems are solved by the next day. That doesn't mean there's no danger. I've been caught in the act before and beaten or harassed before I even managed to get away. I've even lost a few prizes that I stole fair and square because I had to get going in a hurry. But if someone sees me but isn't able to stop me, I know that I'll be home free. Sure, they might remember having something stolen, but they'll never know who did it. It almost makes things too easy. Right now, it would be smarter to just come back even later in the dead of night and hope that there are no people around. I'd be able to take my time browsing without having to worry about making a quick escape. What's the fun in that, though? I walk casually up and down the street, glancing into windows without being too obvious about it. Some stores still have customers inside. Others have locked their doors and shut off the lights. Most of the restaurants are still open and are only making me hungrier. Stealing from restaurants is a bit much even for me, though. I've tried it before, but the cluttered kitchens, as well as all the tables and chairs, make it hard to get around. Plus, I've learned the hard way that there are plenty of hot or sharp things for angry cooks to throw at you if you try to make your way out. Instead, packaged and pre-made foods are my best friends. Things I can grab multiples of at once and stuff into my pockets. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a place with refrigerated sandwiches or salads. Sometimes, perfectly good hot food that gets thrown out. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that's available if you don't mind sifting through the trash a little bit. Not ideal, of course, but a hot meal is a hot meal. I know plenty of foxes who've eaten much worse.
Target spotted.
It's perfect. A small convenience store. Snacks lined up behind the front window. Even better, the shops on either side of it are closed too. There's not many other people in the area.
Locked, huh? Not surprising.
I head down a nearby alley and find the back door, which is probably where they bring in new products. The alleyway is dark to begin with. My dark clothes help me hide even better. I glance around the alley, glad like always for my excellent night vision. Nobody's watching. Nobody's even around. I pull up my hood over my ears and tuck my tail between my legs, leaning against the sturdy door. To anyone not looking closely, I'm sure I appear as nothing more than a shadow. I dig around my pocket until I find my trusty lockpick and set to work on the door. It doesn't complicate a lock at all, just a regular keyhole. With a click, the latch springs open just a few short moments later.
Bingo. Huh?
I try to tug the door towards me. There's a chain on the inside that keeps it from opening very wide. There's no way a human could fit through the gap, but it would be easy for a fox. First, I slink away for a bit, idling on the nearby street like a regular pedestrian. Wait to see if anyone shows up, just in case I triggered a silent security system. After about 10 minutes, I decide it's safe. I transform under the cover of darkness in the alley and slip into the building before transforming back. The shop isn't very big, and the receiving area is just a small hallway with a few boxes of soda and candy bars on the floor. I grab a couple of my favorites and shove them into my pockets. I creep into the main area, make sure to stay low to the ground, trying to avoid being seen from outside. I'm not exactly hidden, but as long as I don't stand up, I shouldn't attract anyone's attention. I move fast, cramming as much into my coat as I can. Cookies, protein bars, popcorn. I'm not very picky. When my coat starts to feel pretty heavy, I grab a plastic bag from behind the counter and transfer some of my loot into there. I also take a few bottles of water and sports drinks from the coolers. Just as I'm about to leave, I spot a few of those coveted plastic wrapped sandwiches that I was thinking about earlier.
Jackpot.
I fill my bag with sandwiches until it's almost overflowing, then I head back out the way I came in. In total, I was in and out in under 5 minutes. I've got enough supplies to last me several days. When I step into the alley, I glance around in both directions, making sure no one saw me emerge from the store. I don't see anyone, but my neck prickles as if someone is watching me. I sniff the air, but don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that wasn't there before. Still. Suddenly, there's a flap of wings and a bat flutters past from out of the shadows, goes right over my head and disappears from sight up the street.
Oh, that's it?
I'll let you have it from here.
Whew. I let out the breath I've been holding and start making my way back towards the mountain where I made my den. I let the bag swing from my arm as I walk, whistling a song I heard earlier. I'm not able to keep a smile off my face.
All in all, not a bad first day. I've got a nice nest, food to spare, and plenty of places to explore tomorrow.
There've been plenty of days in my life where I had none of those things. I unwrap one of the sandwiches I grabbed and take a big bite.
Nothing beats the taste of hard work.
I hope Wellington continues to treat me well while I'm here.
So tired. I'm gonna sleep so well tonight.
I unpack everything that I got from the store, as well as the treasures that I always carry with me. My lockpick, my wallet, and a few pretty stones. The only thing that I leave in my jacket is a small scroll.
Can't get that damaged or dirty.
I change back into a fox and dig another hole near the entrance to my den. This one is much simpler and shallower, and I bury some of the snacks that I stole before covering them back up with dirt.
Not like anyone's gonna come by and swipe my things, but better safe than sorry. I stole this myself after all. Don't want it being stolen from me.
Stuff like my pen and my favourite rock to go into the burrow with me, since I like having them close by. Once I've got everything where it belongs, I climb into the hole myself, turning a few circles before settling down with my tail wrapped around me. From here, I have a perfect view of the stars. I look up at the clear night sky through the mouth of the tunnel. I feel bad for all the people way down on the underworld.
Can they even see the stars from there?
I've never been to the underworld, so I have no idea. I can't imagine falling asleep without them. Comfortable and safe, I close my eyes and quickly slip off to dreamland. I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. I'm sure it's only morning as I peer out the burrow's entrance, but the sky is already dark and foreboding. My attention moves from the ominous rain clouds above to the trees outside my den, their branches shaking in the strong breeze.
I can't believe that girl from the cafe was right.
I climb up to the tunnel and out in the open, sniffing the air. It just tells me that what I already know. A storm is coming, and fast. But also, another scent plays on my nose, one so faint that I almost brush it off before taking another smell. Surely I'm wrong. No way that... Lowering my snout to the ground, I investigate the area, and then decide that I'm right. I change into my human form and look around.
Someone's been here.
Yes, someone's definitely been here, but this scent isn't a human's. It's vaguely familiar, but at the same time, not like anything I recognize.
And it definitely wasn't here when I went to sleep.
They must have come here in the night and stopped right outside my den.
Were they watching me sleep?
Oh, crap. It's Edward Cullen. No. As a fox, I dive back into my hole to make sure everything is still there. My heart pounds in my chest, but nothing appears to be missing. I also checked the spot where I buried my stash from last night, but nothing has been disturbed either. I breathe a sigh of relief. If any of my stuff have been stolen, I'd be so mad. That still doesn't answer the question of what they did want, and that's more concerning. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and usually the slightest sound or motion will wake me up. So if someone were able to sneak up on me, even I have to be impressed. Impressed and a little bit worried. I've got a more pressing issue right now, though, and I stare up at the sky in disappointment.
I hate the rain.
I would have found a different place to make my nest and hide my supplies if I'd known this would happen. But instead, both burrows would be just piles of mud by the end of the day.
You knew this would happen!
You were warned!
I should have found a place with a roof after all.
I fill my pockets with my most important possessions and some of the food I grabbed last night. Everything I wrap up as tightly in the plastic bags as I can and bury them in my den. Hopefully, I can find somewhere fast and move everything else over before it gets ruined. An abandoned house would be perfect, or some other place where I'd be able to hide. I'm just about to get going when a loud flapping sound overhead catches my attention. I expect to be a bird, but instead, it's yet another bat. This one is even bigger than the one I saw last night. Its wings were way longer and noisier. I can even hear it squeaking something as it flies past. People say bats and foxes are similar. I don't see it. I watch it fly around for a little while before it takes off towards the city.
Maybe it knows somewhere to stay. Guess I'll follow it for now.
Couple times it appears between the trees or just too far ahead, but I always manage to catch back up. Eventually, we're out of the woods and back into civilization, where a car whizzes right past me. There's a sidewalk here and other people walking around.
Okay, I'll go from here.
Mhm.
Most of them look up to the sky nervously, though, and everyone seems to be in a hurry.
Guess I'm not the only one looking to get away from the rain.
More people seem to be going in the direction I was headed than anywhere else, so I stick to that. By now, my winged guide is almost out of sight again, just a little black speck in the sky flying into the distance. Farther up this road, there's a slope that leads to a big, fancy-looking building. Doesn't look like a shop or a restaurant, at least not one that I've ever seen. But there are so many people going in and out that it has to be open to the public. That's good enough for me. It'll give me somewhere to dry to spend some time, and maybe I can learn something useful. Plus, places like this usually have plenty of valuables inside. If I'm lucky, I'll be able to find something to fund my next few days. After all, the bigger the target, the less likely they are to notice something's missing. The sturdy oak door isn't as heavy as it looks, a firm push being enough to heave it open. Gingerly stepping inside and out of the rain, I'm greeted by books. Lots of books. Books on shelves, books on tables, books on the floor, books everywhere. The place even smells of musty old paper. The dozen or so people inside are mostly leafing through pages in the aisles. The odd silence about the building is striking, given how many are around. Doesn't look like a shop, so I assume this must be a library. I've heard of them, but I've never been in one. No point since I can't read and all. But it's warm and cozy and very dry. It'll do just fine. There's a desk near the entrance with a computer on it that I assume would be where I check in. It's unattended, which is good for me. I take a seat in an empty chair nearby and sit back just to observe for a bit. There are plenty of people, but it's not too busy. Lots of empty, unwatched spaces. Most folks seem to be here alone, or in small groups that keep themselves. Yep, we're playing a Yuri visual novel. There's not much conversation going on, and what there is all whispered. Nobody gives me a second glance, which is a good sign. It means I'm probably not breaking any rules just by being here. Behind the desk, there's a hallway leading deeper into the building, and I peek around the corner to see what's back there. All I can see are some shut doors, and at the very back, a staircase. After glancing around to make sure no one's watching, I sneak down the hall and try a couple of the doors. All of them are locked. Probably pick them. I wanted to. I was just trying to do that now, though. Is there anything more valuable around? An antique clock or vase would be perfect. Sadly, it's almost all books. Books and small trinkets that look pretty worthless. Not even worth the trouble of stealing. At least it's got a roof. I do spot a couple promising items, like a set of old coins, and memorize their locations. Oh, my bad. Wander back into the main area, where I came in. Outside, it hasn't started raining yet. It's only a matter of time. The wind is loud and gusty, and even opening the door is enough to make me shiver. If nothing else, probably wait out the rain here. But ugh, a poor bed and snacks back at the den. What a waste. Can't do anything about it now, though. Keep looking around. I move slowly through the area, never going beyond what seems to be the public area. I tend to inspect a few books, take them off the shelves, and flipping through the pages. But I'm actually mapping out the place in my head. Doors, windows, and potential places to hide. Things like that. Most of the time, this kind of info is unnecessary. It's been just a few decades since I've had to make a dramatic escape from anywhere. At this point, plotting an escape route is just a habit. Overall, I like what I'm seeing. Even with the locked doors and off-limits hallways, there are a lot of nooks and crannies that would make good hiding spots. Especially as a fox. From the thick dust that coats a lot of these areas, I can tell they don't get a whole lot of visitors. I'm careful, might be able to go to a whole week or more without being noticed. As long as I can get in and out of the building easily, that is, with the huge windows that line the back wall, seems easy enough too. I weave around a couple of shelves that are taller than I am. Heading for the far back corner, I peer around the corner of the last aisle, just to make sure I'm alone. But I'm not. At a small table by the window sits a woman with a small book in her hand, resting against her fingers. She's perfectly still, but mouths the words on the page as she reads, like she's tasting them instead of just seeing them. Her expression has a distant look of someone way off in their own world, far away from this one. She looks so at peace that I think she must belong in that other world. She's beautiful and elegant in the same way as a painting, with the light from the window shining on her like a display. I duck behind the bookshelf, pressing one hand out to my racing heart. My other bumps against one of the books on the shelf, and it falls with a dusty thump. Cursing my clumsiness, I silently back away, in case she decides to investigate. She doesn't leave her chair.
I suppose it's nothing.
She turns and gazes out the open window. At what? I don't know. A moment later, she returns to her book and leaves this world again. I stay hidden and my face still burning a little bit. Yes, I think this would be the perfect place to spend some time. I'll let you have it.
Suddenly, there was a much louder boom than the one I caused. As thunder rumbles outside, a few people around the library startle at the sound and look around. Sighing, the girl on the chair pulls the window beside her closed. The first drops of rain falling not a minute later. I'll investigate the windows later. Right now, I don't want to bother her. So I head back to one of the plush chairs on the other side of the library and take a seat. I could be here a while, depending on how long the rain lasts, so I may as well get comfy. I find a few books that have more pictures than words and curl up in one of the soft chairs to flip through them. There aren't as many of those ones, and I go through the stack pretty fast. It takes long enough for the rain to start, though. The longer I read, the louder the pounding of the rain and the howling of the wind become. Guess it's not letting up anytime soon. I can't complain, though. This library is pretty cozy by my usual standards. It's warm and safe, and nobody tells me to go away. They even have sex.
More than once, I get up and walk around the library again, even though I've got most of it memorized by now. I take note of things like a child stuffed toy that's lying on the floor in one section, or the thin blanket that's stuffed between a bookshelf and a wall. On my third and fourth trip around, I finally found something I've been looking for. In one of the far corners, totally opposite from where I saw the reading girl earlier, is a single chair and a small table. On the wall nearby is a portrait. The painting itself is a girl with light brown hair, but I barely paid attention to that. What I'm interested in is the frame. It's lovely. It looks like it might be made out of gold. It certainly shines like it. It's carved intricately into the shape of the waves, flowing up and down. It's gotta be worth something. I pretend not to pay as much attention to it as I make my way back to my table. There are too many other people around for me to be able to try to sneak it out. It's too big to fit under my jacket without being obvious. That just means I have to come back some other time, maybe once this place is closed. The hours pass by and the storm continues. I'm kind of disappointed about losing a whole day, especially so soon after arriving. It's not like I'm in any sort of hurry. I pat one of my pockets, feeling the familiar and reassuring weight of the paper scroll that's tucked away there. That scroll is the only thing close to a purpose that I have, and it's not particularly urgent, or at least I don't have any way to deal with it faster. I spend a long time reading. It's almost afternoon when I go and check the windows again, but the rough weather outside continues. At this rate, I'll be sleeping in the puddle of mud tonight. Unless... A quick check shows that a lot of other library patrons have left. It's not empty, but it's not nearly as full as earlier. Guess some of them decided it's not worth braving the rain. Looking as nonchalant as I can, I get up from my seat and pretend to browse again, slowly moving through the shelves. The reading girl is gone now, although she's not what I was looking for. Instead, I picked up the drop toy and blanket that I spotted earlier, then head to one of the out-of-the-way hiding spots I picked out before. It's on the floor between a shelf and the wall, but has a bit of carpet to make it softer. Even better, it's between two corner shelves, meaning that it's practically out of sight if you're not looking for it. I wiggle my way through the furniture and lie down, using the toy as a pillow and draping the blanket over me. I toss and turn a few times before finally settling down.
Yep, not bad at all.
Even though I haven't done much today, I'm always down to take a nap. I can pass a few hours by sleeping, wake up once it's dark, and then grab that picture frame and be on my way. I have to rebuild my den once I get back, but that's a problem for future me.
True words.
Yeah, that's a future problem. I yawn, staring up at the ceiling until my eyes get heavy.
Maybe today won't be a total waste after all.
The soft sound of cloth rustling wakes me from a dreamless sleep. How did someone sneak up on me twice now? I don't know how long it's been. The sky outside has darkened significantly, and the stars twinkle outside the window. There's no time to react as the sound comes closer. I hear no footsteps, but suddenly a woman steps into view. Her clothes are pure white, making her stand out like a ghost in a dark library. Her cape rustles again as she reaches towards one of the shelves. One of the shelves I'm hiding behind, to be precise. Gingerly, she moves 2 books aside and slides another book into the place she created. She handles them like precious treasures that might break if she's too rough. I stay perfectly still, afraid to even breathe in case she notices me. My heart beats wildly as she slowly and deliberately looks over at the shelf, examining their titles before taking the book from the second lowest row. Through the gap she creates in the shelves, our eyes meet in the darkness.
I'll go from here.
Yeah, sure.
Oh no. I tense up as she steps around the shelving between us to get a better look at me, preparing myself to leap away if the need arises. The carefully memorized layout of the library flashes through my mind as I frantically plot the best way to flee. Even as I prepare my escape, I could see her taking in everything about me. The stolen blanket, the makeshift pillow, my generally disheveled appearance. She opens her mouth, and I brace myself for the verbal attack that's sure to come.
Hello there. May I ask why you're sleeping on the floor?
It doesn't matter what I say, just distract her enough to get away.
I don't have anywhere else to sleep.
I thought so.
She leans down and offers me a hand. I'll look at it warily. I don't take it, but I slowly stand, letting the blanket fall to my feet and trying to subtly get in a position to run.
Well, I have an extra room on the second floor that you're welcome to borrow, if you'd prefer that. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to remain here, on the ground. I apologize for waking you.
With a smile, the oddly calm woman steps away and busies herself organizing another row of books. Probably expects me to let my guard down and take her offer. I'm just a stranger. Someone who broke into her library. No reason for her to treat me kindly. My years of experience, and there are plenty of those, tell me it's a trap.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'll just be going actually. Sorry to bother you like this.
I hurry past her, shoulders tense as I expect her to grab me or try to stop me. Doesn't though. The one time I glance back, she's watching me with a strange expression that I don't recognize. When I get outside and away from the library, I breathe a sigh of relief. She was pretty though.
Yeah, pretty beautiful.
Whew, that was close. I'm not falling for that one again.
The last time I let someone feel sorry for me and accepted a place to stay, I woke up to them trying to empty my wallet.
Oof.
I may be a thief, but at least I do it honestly. I wouldn't try to trick someone like that. That wasn't the first time someone tried to fool me and take advantage of me either.
Still, it's a shame to lose such a nice hiding place. Maybe I'll give it a couple days for that woman to forget about me, and then try again. If she wasn't lying about there being an empty room on the second floor, maybe I could sneak into there.
Thank you for that. It caught me off guard to get the head pats. Tonight, though, I'm on my own. Shivering, I wrap my coat and tail tightly around myself as I think about what to do next. The rain has stopped, although it's still cold and cloudy. My stomach grumbles since I haven't eaten anything other than snacks all day. I may as well get it over with and go check on the status of my den.
Well, it could be worse.
Not as bad as I expected. It was a pleasant surprise.
What's a little mine? It'll be just fine.
You'd be great.
I swapped my fox form to prod around. The entrance has caved in a little, but after I scoop that out, I found that the rest of the tunnels and main room are relatively intact. Cold as hell, but intact. Seems the trees protected the den from a lot of the rain. Takes me a while to find the spot where I buried my stash, since the stick I used to mark the spot got washed away. Eventually, I locate it, go and start digging. The cold mud makes my paws dirty and sore, and little fat flecks cover my fur. After I finally reach the soggy plastic bags, I shake myself clean before opening them as a human. Some water has seeped through and I open the spoiled items before tossing them away. I'm not too picky, but I have plenty of other snacks to choose from. few of them swooped down to inspect the offering. I scarfed down a quick meal of cookies and unwarmed soup, along with some cold water from the stream. At least the water is satisfying. Then, even though I just woke up from a nap not too long ago, I shift back into my fox form to crawl into my den and curl up. I'm sure it'll be a while before I fall asleep, but I don't feel like going back into town. Had enough excitement for one day. This isn't all that bad. Regular foxes without magic powers have it way worse than I do. Although, back when I was a fox all I was, wouldn't have really cared. To this day, I'm not sure what it is that makes me different. I used to be just like them, no desire to go beyond the forest or anything. And one day, I became whatever I am now. All I had was my necklace, a small scroll that I can't read, the memory of the person who had given it to me. They were so kind to me, that stranger in the forest. They wished me well, even though I was just an ordinary fox. Somehow that didn't seem to matter to them. I never even knew their name, just their name and their voice. But I know that I'll recognize them when I see them again. It's a matter of finding them. Since then, I've been looking, and surviving. Looking for them is what keeps me going. Enough to live for. If I wasn't, I don't know what else I'd be doing. I guess I'd just be surviving. But if that was the only thing, I think I'd rather just stay a fox.
Aww.
Standing outside my den in human form, I take stock of how things stand. The sun's thankfully out this morning, but everything remains damp, from the ground to the muggy air itself. The chill and the breeze is the worst, making me shiver every time it hits me. The Bell House was pleasant when I visited a couple of days ago, so I decided to head down towards the main street and get a coffee there while working out my next moves. Going to the door of the cafe, I pause and wipe my feet on the mat outside. The human fascination with surrounding themselves in concrete makes a little more sense as I work the mud off my feet. With that, I finally head inside, only to stop in my tracks as the door shuts behind me. Okay, so I'll let the next part be you, but I gotta use the restroom real fast.
Okay, yeah, no worries. So
So
do you want me to wait until you get back, or?
I don't have. If I put it on autoplay, it might go too fast for you to read.
Okay.
Yeah, so give
So
me. Yeah, I'll be back in like a minute or so.
yeah, no worries.
I'll at least move on to the next scene, so that way maybe music will play.
Okay. Anyone who is still in chat, Grey Cat is just taking a little bathroom break at the moment. But I hope you are enjoying the visual novel so far. It's really nice and chill. It is a Yuri visual novel. I'm just taking a quick drink myself. And then once they get back, I'm gonna take over the reading.
I'm back.
Oh, yay. Okay. Standing behind the counter is the same girl who I saw reading in the library yesterday, talking with a customer as she takes their order. That gentle aura about her is unmistakable. The person in front of me finishes their order, and I step up to the counter.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bell House. What can I make for you today? Oh, hi. I'll have...
A vanilla latte? No. Boring. Excuse me, don't you ever disrespect the vanilla latte.
What do you
Yeah, it's such a good
want? Something new.
Granted, it's basic, but like it's good.
It's a safe kind of flavor for a latte.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak much because like I think my go-to drink, no matter what, I go to a new place, it's just gonna be like, just give me a mocha. If you can make a mocha, then we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, my go-to is mainly a vanilla latte. Sometimes an iced mocha, but it depends.
A chai's pretty nice too.
Yeah, I've had a chai before. Really nice.
I'm glad you asked. I was just thinking that you look like the sort of person who would enjoy one of our fairy kiss chillers. It's one of our signature drinks with a vanilla gelato base and a mint chocolate chip swirl.
I want that. That sounds
Ooh.
so good.
Not a fan of the mint, but yeah, that sounds absolutely divine. I was planning to get something warm, but that does sound pretty good.
Okay, give me one of those then. Perfect. And could I get your name, please? It's Miho.
She scribbles something onto a cup and finishes it with a big flourish.
I'll have that right out for you. Thanks.
I pay and then go take the same seat as before, next to one of the windows. It's pretty empty in here again, so I can sit wherever I want. Before the barista starts making my drink, I spot her writing something else down in a little notebook. She glances my way once or twice while she does, but I pretend not to notice. I wonder what it is. The barista yesterday didn't write anything down. Anyway, I've got more important things on my mind. I mull over the plan which formed as I walk here, becoming increasingly happy with it. Tonight, I've already decided I am gonna go and steal more stuff from the library. Between the picture frame and some of the other trinkets I saw, I should be able to pilfer through to fund my next few days in Wellington.
Okay, but how are you going to be stealing this big picture frame out there? Just like
With a
chips
really good
away?
plan. Very, very sneakily and extra stealthily. Activating stealth mode.
Yeah.
Finding somewhere to sell it should be the easy part. I've got a dozen excuses that I can recite where the items came from. Dead grandma, spring cleaning, new renovations.
Nah, because the library's going to be like, hey, so like our painting is missing and it looks very familiar.
People can have more than one painting.
Fair enough.
Sometimes I try extra hard and pretend that the things I'm selling are really special to me and earn a bit more cash that way. Sometimes I just take whatever they give me. After years of watching other humans do it and trying it out myself, I've gotten good at pawning items off. I find myself idly watching the barista make my drink. While I do, I practice a disarming smile. All of her movements are quick and practiced, but she has that same faraway look in her eyes that I noticed yesterday. She looks up and our eyes meet. I don't look away, and she turns pink before ducking away behind the machine out of sight. Oh, her eyes are beautiful.
Weird girl.
She's not weird. She really likes I guess likes you or the way she looks. Either way, she's like taking notice.
Yeah. I turn my head around to look around the cafe, and a butterfly outside catches my attention, so I watch that instead. It flutters back and forth, landing on a flower and resting its wings.
Miho!
Oh, my coffee's ready. I quickly get up and skip over to the counter. Cup in hand, she starts to head over to give it to me. But then, several things happened at once.
No!
No! Oh, that looks fucking nice, though.
Yeah, she made it sound like it was gonna be like a little tiny thing, but like this is huge.
That looks like a smoothie. Or like one of those, like, frappuccinos.
Yeah.
Yeah!
What was it? She said it was vanilla gelato with a mint chocolate swirl at the bottom. That's a lot.
Oh, that is. Absolutely divine. Absolutely. One of the little tassels on the pockets on her apron catches in one of the drawers behind the counter, and she jerks to a stop, eyes wide with surprise. And the drink tumbles out of her hand, landing on a counter with a wet gloop sound as an ice cream splats against it, sending mint green rivers of coffee everywhere. A few seconds pass where we just look at each other, neither of us quite sure what to do, and she takes a deep breath.
away. Just give me 1 second and I'll have that ready for you.
Her words spill out faster than the beverage, making it hard to even understand what she's saying. Oh no, I'll just lick it from the counter, don't mind me. Just drink it like a cat. Her face is bright red as she spins back around and grabs another empty cup. Then she stops, hands hovering awkwardly.
Wait, I should clean this up before it dries and starts to go bad.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Her flustered voice sounds really cute too.
I know. It's just like me when I get flustered or when I like trip over and make a mess at work. It's like, whoops. She hurries back to the mess, wiping at it with some napkins. She mops up as much as... Oh my god. She mops up as much of it as she can with one hand and then leaves the soggy paper on the counter while she starts to remake my drink.
I'm really sorry. This is such an embarrassment. I
Didn't even know if she's talking to me or herself. I freeze it for a second, looking for an appropriate response to an apology. I'm not used to people apologizing to me.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not in a hurry.
Instead, I just sit back down at one of the tables and watch. She makes the drink twice as fast, then carries it very slowly to the counter, setting it down in a clean spot. This time, she takes a deep breath before speaking, like she's afraid that she's going to mess that up too.
All right. Here's your drink. Again, I'm very sorry. Oh, this is your first time here, isn't it? I hope it doesn't leave a bad impression.
Second, actually. Yesterday was the first time. How'd you know?
I make an effort to remember as many of our customers as I can, as well as their favorite orders. I believe you can learn a lot about a person from how they drink their coffee.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, like literally it's gonna be like, I had the mocha, the chai, and that's literally it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna learn much about me other than I like familiarity.
Sometimes if I'm really familiar, like with coffee shops, I would often get like, you know, like limited edition lattes. I would try what's called a Spanish latte. From like a place that I'm really familiar with. I would try chais, hot chocolates.
There's a branch of bookstores called Books a Million. They have a coffee brand store that works with them called Joe Muggs. It's not Starbucks or anything. So they have like unique coffee things they have. But one of the things on their menu that I would always get because I used to work for Books a Million as the barista there, was called the Millionaire. And it was you would take chocolate and then you would melt it on the bottom and then do another drizzle of chocolate followed by coffee and then whipped cream at the top with chocolate sprinkles. So yes, was it a lot of chocolate? It was worth it though, because it was like thick hot chocolate pretty much.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
I would make that all the time for myself because you were allowed to have one free drink a day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna go on break. I'm gonna take this and go sit outside.
Nice. Well, that's too bad for her because she won't remember me at all next time. I take a big sip of the drink she made for me. It's creamy and rich and sweet all at the same time.
Whoa, this is really good. It's kind of like a milkshake, but not. But it's not like coffee either.
Yes,
It's like a frappuccino.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that you like it. It's one of my favorite beverages that we serve. In fact, the recipe was my idea.
Ooh, they should put you in charge of all the recipes.
She smiles again. Seems like she'd gotten over the crisis of the spilled drink already.
Yeah, but what's her name?
Thank you. one of my favorites next time, if you'd like.
Totally.
At least I'll know what to order next time, even though I'll have been forgotten. I'm already thinking of this place as my go-to coffee shop, especially since it's in a convenient area. With tasty drinks and cute baristas, I don't have a reason to go anywhere else. A knocking sound from the employee area gets both our attention.
Hey, Aspen, can you start another batch of croissants?
Oh, sure.
Croissant.
I'll be right there.
Croissant.
Croissant.
Okay, so Aspen's her name.
Aspen, yeah. Aww. She calls back over her shoulder, then looks back at me briefly.
Have a nice day, Miho.
You too.
With a wave, she gathers up the trash from the cleanup and throws that away before disappearing into the back. So her name is Aspen. That's a pretty name. I'll have to try and remember that. Getting up from my seat, I decide to head back outside for some fresh air, sipping my fairy kiss chiller as I go. I head out of the door and onto the increasingly busy main street.
Okay, I'll go from here.
Yeah, cool.
I already know my plans for tonight, but also I've got some time to kill before then. What should I do? Oh! We can choose where to go.
Oh.
Okay, first of all, let me save, because we have not saved at all.
Oh yeah, always save. Always save the game at the most earliest opportunity. We don't want any accidents.
Okay, so we can go to Oriental Bay or Mount Victoria, which both have, like, a story event.
Yeah.
The Den or Cuba Street. It looks like Oriental Bay has the library girl, but I don't know about Victoria. I don't recognize that portrait.
Mount Vic. Oh yeah, I think that's probably the new person. Mount Victoria is when we had a look from that skyline.
Yeah.
Not skyline. From that viewpoint.
Yeah. Hi, Sin. Okay, so let's do. You want to do Mount Victoria? See who this person is?
Oh yeah,
Because
sure.
it looks like these are also timed events, so if we don't do them, then they're going to be gone.
Yeah, potentially.
All right, Mount Victoria.
Mhm.
I have plenty of time to kill, and also plenty of restless energy. I decide to go for a walk up Mount Victoria, just to give myself something to do. Take the long way up this time, instead of taking a bunch of shortcuts like usual. It winds through neighborhoods and then back out again, with only the occasional car passing by on the street. Compared to some of the other cities I've been in lately, the air here is a lot cleaner, and the smell of nature shines through. It can't compare to being out in the wild for real, of course, but it's nice to not be choking on exhaust fumes everywhere I go. The houses are weird, though. Many of them sit up on tall legs, like giant bugs with windows for eyes. More people seem to be coming down the mountains than going up it. Lots of them zip past on bikes or skateboards, while others are jogging or just walking.
This path is longer than I thought.
Oh, there's a whole new person.
Oh my.
About halfway up or so, there's a wooden bench just off the sidewalk. It's occupied by a man with dark hair and big sunglasses. As I'm about to pass by, he waves.
Well, hello, miss. Nice evening for a walk, eh?
Huh? Is he talking to me? He must be, because there's no one else nearby. Chatting's usually not my thing, but for the moment, I appreciate the distraction.
It sure is. I'm glad the rain's gone.
Oh, for now, yeah. It's never gone for long, though, is it?
That's so. I'm new here. I didn't even think it would rain since it was so sunny the day before.
Oh, you've got to watch out for that around here. Mother Nature's real fickle these days. One minute you're on the pier, enjoying the sunshine. Next minute...
He makes a whoosh sound with his breath and a wavy motion with his hand.
Storm clouds, as far as the eye can see. That's just welly for you, though. You live with the sunshine and the clouds. Where are you from, then? Guessing you're not a Kiwi?
Okay, I do love that kind of thing of like,
I love that.
the locals call you Kiwis.
Oh.
The man laughs, a deep belly laugh, like usual. Not sure what I said that was funny.
Not like that. Although those little guys are cute. A kiwi is a word for us New Zealanders in general.
So it's a bird, a fruit, and people.
You've got it. All three are delightful. Anyway, welcome to Wellington. I hope you're enjoying your time here in our little city.
So far I am. I made my den here on the mountain. I've gotten coffee a few times, and I went to the library.
I conveniently leave out my plan for the next time I'm in the library.
Well, I can't say that's the usual tourist experience, but I'm happy to hear that it's working out for you. Staying long?
Probably. I decided to come live here, but I'm still getting to know the place. So, maybe I'll change my mind.
A true free spirit, eh? I felt the same way when I first got here, long time ago. Didn't think I settled down for life, but here I am now. Lived more years here than everywhere else in my life.
It can't be that long. You don't look very old for a human.
No? Well, that's my ego boost for the day. You don't look very old for a fox either, but I imagine you've got a good head start on me.
That's true. I don't really keep track or think about it, though.
He laughs again.
Can't say I blame you there. I think 100 years, give or take a little on either side, is enough for me. And I'm only halfway there, so I've got plenty more to look forward to.
He stands up, but has to do it slowly.
And sometimes I'm reminded of how many I've got under my belt already. Thank you for the chat, miss. I better get back to the water now and make sure Young Min hasn't fallen into the ocean or anything. It's been a real pleasure talking with you, though. I hope you'll give our fair town a shot.
Thanks. It was nice talking to you, too.
And I mean that for once. He waves goodbye as he heads down some stone steps, and I keep heading upwards. Never really thought about my age compared to humans. Humans don't matter to my lifestyle. I wasn't lying when I said I don't know how old I am. It's never been important. Places, relationships, memories, they just tie people down. I want to be everywhere. When I reach the top of the mountain, I take a deep breath of the crisp air. Wind blows my hair in every direction, and I can't keep it out of my face. The wind is wild and goes where it wants. It doesn't answer to anyone. That's how I've lived my life too. A free spirit. That's what the man called me. I like the sound of it. I can see the smudges of a few people down by the beach and on the pier. Is one of them the man I just met? There's no way to know. From up here, they're just tiny little blips, impossible to tell apart from each other. Once I've had my fill of the view, time to get on the way again. I turn my back on the people and start making my way down once more. Oh, we still have time to go to Oriental Bay as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'll let you have Oriental Bay.
Okay. It's not far from where I am to the beach, so I decide to head down there. Passing through the city streets, I recognize some of this area from my first day here, when I was running from the Skyport guard.
Whew. Glad that guard chased me in this direction, or I'd have never found the Bell House.
And really, that's been the highlight of Wellington so far. When I get down to the beach, I take a moment to enjoy the salty sea air. From this level, it's impossible to tell where the ocean ends and where the open sky begins. I see the skyport from where I am, with a few older ships anchored in the harbour close by. While I'm admiring the view, a worried-looking lady comes up and waves for my attention.
Hi, I'm looking for my son. He's about this tall and wearing a red sweater. His name's Tommy. Have you seen him?
Nope. I haven't seen anyone like that. I just got here.
Okay, thanks.
He walks away in a hurry, looking right and left as she goes and asks someone else. Aw.
Humans sure do have it rough.
Since they can't smell or even hear most things, it's a wonder they don't get lost more often. I amble along the waterfront, watching all the people as I go. Like Cuba Street, there's a lot going on. Under a nearby bridge, a group of 3 mermaids are racing each other. Close to the bridge are a bunch of people fishing, with a stressed-looking guy running back and forth between them. Next to a boarded-up market stall, and some big crates, I notice something weird. Aw, look at that little
He's
pig.
cute.
I know, it's adorable. There's a fabled with a big flower on their head that spins like a propeller. They're using it to drift in a small circle above something near the crates. I have to check it out, of course. Nobody pays any attention. I wander over and take a look. The fabled stops spinning as I approached and gives me a helpless look, but doesn't say anything. On the other side of the crates, out of sight from the path, there's a little boy sitting on the ground with his back to one of the wooden boxes.
Are you Tommy?
The kid jumped, totally surprised. Oops. He scrambles and looks at me with wide eyes.
How'd you know? Your mom's looking for you. She seemed pretty worried.
His expression goes from surprise to sullen real quick.
I don't care. I
Oh.
don't want to go with you.
Oh, that's a mood.
Why not? Why are you over here instead? 'Cause I'm hiding. Oh.
Mood.
Okay.
She's like, I don't want to deal with a sassy lost child.
It's a crummy hiding spot. It's a pretty crummy hiding spot. I mean, it's totally open on 3 sides. I don't say that, though. Instead, I looked up at the fabled floating overhead. It looks almost as glum as Tommy.
Who's that? That's Jerby. You mean you can see him? I can. Is that weird? Mom and Dad can't see him. They think I'm just making him up. He doesn't talk, but he's real.
Derby waves from up high.
He kinda gave away your hiding spot. I saw him from the road. Mom can't see him, and that's all that matters. Why are you hiding from her? 'Cause
Oh, I hate that when they say cause, and I went, well, that's not an actual reason, mate.
Yeah, you gotta tell me, child, what's wrong.
Or, you know, just a simple, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, like you don't have to elaborate. Just like be like, I don't want to be here right now. It's like, okay, that's fine. But like, cause is not a good answer.
Well, cause is not a good answer for anything, really. It's like, why did you do that? Cause.
Like, okay, cool. Conversation's
Cool.
over then.
Right, yeah. Good story, bro. Good story, mate. Tommy sits back down and scratches at the dirt with a rock. Guess he doesn't want to talk about it. I'm always glad to end a conversation.
Hey, there we go. Miho understands it.
well,
Yep, a mood.
good luck.
I start to walk away. He doesn't seem like he's in any danger, and I don't want to get blamed for him hiding in the first place.
Hey, wait a minute.
I turn around. He's already standing up again.
Are you gonna go tell her where I am?
Not my problem.
Do you want a safeguarding version, or do you want an actual version? Safeguarding version, I can't make any promises. And then goes and tell the parent anyway. Before I can answer, his eyes get huge again. Well, I don't need to fucking answer that fucking question.
Tommy, there you are.
I have to turn around again. This time, it's the woman from before. She's already flying past me over to Tommy.
Are you okay? What were you doing? Don't you ever run off like that again. Oh, I'm
You're safe, though.
Her voice goes up and down between relieved and angry. She has Tommy in a tight hug, but he's just staring forward grumpily. Jerby is flying in distress circles again. Finally, the lady turns to me.
You found him, right? Thank you so much. I was so worried.
Give me compensation or GTFO.
No problem.
I didn't really do anything. I did find him, but so did she. Yeah, she's not thinking about it much.
Come on, Tommy, let's go home. Talk about this there. No, I'm not going. It's not home.
My ears flinch as he yells. He stamps his foot on the ground to make his point. That's unmoved.
Tommy, sweetie. Home is where it's you, me, and Dad, not that apartment. That's still your home too. But this, it's like your second home now.
Okay, I thought it was gonna be like a new parent situation, but it seems like they just moved. I mean, it's still like bad for a kid because
Yeah,
I didn't have to worry about that when I was young, but I understand that it was a problem for a lot of people.
is it possible that his parents may be divorced as well? Because it said like it's his second home.
True, and he says where it's you and me and Dad, and she's like kind of just like you moved around the subject. So yeah, it might be a stepfather. Okay, they're getting divorced.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof. Tommy, who was already sniffling, can't keep from breaking down and crying as he throws his arms around his mom and hugs her back.
I don't want you to go.
Aww. I get the impression that I should probably leave. Normally, I'm happy to be nosy and listening on things, but right now seems kind of awkward. Neither of the humans notice me and leave, but Jerby the Fabled sadly waves goodbye as I head off. I wonder what makes him stick around. I've never seen a Fabled like him before. Not being able to see by certain people sure sounds useful, though. I don't have to go far before the sounds of Tommy and his mum talking are drowned out by the noise of the waterfront. I easily fit into the crowd of people milling about. Being able to live a life that no one notices is close enough to being invisible. Pardon me? I'm pretty lucky that I don't ever have to have those kinds of tearful conversations or panic about someone missing. No. Being part of the crowd is just perfect for me. I stand at the concrete and admire the ocean until I've had my fill, and then I start wandering again.
Okay, so we just had like a random side story with the with divorced parents.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to the library now.
Yeah, to the library.
Okay, I'll go from here. When the moon is high in the sky, I decide it's time. It's the perfect kind of night for me. It's not much wind, meaning I'll be able to hear or smell anyone approaching. A little cloudy, too, which gives me some cover from the moonlight. I make my way back up to the library, stopping as soon as I'm within sight of it. I find a shadowy place to hide and watch the front for a few minutes. Like I hoped, nobody goes in or out. All of the windows are dark, too. I slowly creep towards the entrance, ready to transform and flee if I have to. Nothing happens. No one tries to stop me. I peek into one of the windows. It's dark inside. I can't see anyone at all. Perfect. I move around to the back side of the building and check those windows too. Same thing. It's dark and empty.
This is gonna be too easy.
Back at the front door, I pick the lock and slip inside. I sneak from room to room, revisiting the items I memorized yesterday. They're not expensive or fancy enough to think of them as treasures. I end up leaving a lot of them alone, since I don't want to carry too much with me. The rest go into my coat pockets. Finally, I end up back at the painting in the corner, that piece that started this whole plan. I have to set a couple of things down on the floor because the painting needs both hands for me to lift it. It's heavier than it looks, so it's not very big. Probably a good sign for how much it'll be worth.
And boom.
I have to jiggle it a couple times to get it off the hook, but I manage. Tucking the painting under one arm, I pick up the other goods from the floor. Should be enough for one night. Best to get in and out quick. I start to head back for the front door where I came in. Before I get there, light floods the room.
Mission failed. We'll get it next time.
My heart starts to race as I immediately prepare to run. A quick glance over my shoulder shows the woman from last night standing at the top of the stairs. Okay, even though she's angry, I'm still like into it though.
Oh, her eyes are beautiful.
Yes.
Look at those eyes. They're like, oh, I love it.
Her eyes are glowing blue with anger. Takes a step forward, not seeming to touch the stairs.
Leave that painting alone.
I've got to get out of here. Now. Throwing caution to the wind, I clutch my spoils tight and charge for the door, trying to make myself as small a target as possible. The painting is too big for me to transform and still hold on to it. I've got to do this on two legs.
Stop, please.
I don't stop. Just like my arrival here, with the guards at the skyport, the thrill of being chased has already taken over. It's exciting and scary at the same time, but either way, it spurs me to move faster. Using my shoulder, I crash out the front door and into the night. I run as quickly as I can, keeping an eye out for patches of slick mud or puddles of water. The path I take goes far past Mount Victoria and my den, ending up in a small residential area. I stash a painting under a parked car, then take my fox form and crawl under a house, upsetting a mean gray cat who is already hiding here. There's a low growling sound and I glare at it, desperately willing it to be silent before it gives away my position. I growl back as best as I can. That seems to scare it into shutting up. I'm not sure if I was being followed or not, but I don't want to take any chances. After 10 minutes or so, I climb out, pick up my loot, and sneak back towards my den. Now that the excitement is worn off, I just can't keep a smile off my face. Nothing more satisfying than pulling off a heist, even one as easy as this. Other thieves I've heard about must have had it rough, trying to stick out a place for a long time, trying really hard to not get caught, make sure not to be seen. Never done much planning, do whatever feels right. My ability to transform makes it pretty hard to catch me, although I have had to leave behind the stuff I was taking once or twice. And honestly, it would get boring if I had never got caught and had to run. My good mood lasts me all the way home, then disappears completely when I see who's waiting for me.
Uh-oh.
Bruh, you knew? The woman in white. She stands just outside my den, looking like she doesn't care at all about the cold or the mud. In fact, perfect clothes don't seem to get dirty at all. With her back turned to me, she's staring at the moon, but she faces me as I approach. It's that same calm presence as when I first saw her. I can see a mournful look in her eyes, gone back to brown instead of furious blue. My heart quickens, almost suffocatingly. She watches me intently. I know how quickly calm can turn into anger. To run, but I can't look away.
How did you find me here? Before I even got back?
A friend of mine told me you might be found here.
Her voice is soft and warm, unlike the way she shouted back at the library.
A friend.
But who? Wasn't followed. Sure of that much. The shock of being found wearing off, the realization I'd need to find a new place to stay sets in. For all that work, too.
I apologize for showing up uninvited. I'm here to ask that you please return that painting to me. You may keep the frame if you'd like, but the painting itself is very dear to me.
Why didn't you say that in the first place?
Yeah, that's all I had to do. Because she just said,
Yeah.
give me back the painting. But, like, I guess to panic.
Yeah. I mean, like, all we wanted was the frame, so...
Yeah. I looked down at the portrait. I've been carrying it for a while now, but I haven't gotten the picture itself much thought. A beautiful painting and clearly very old. The girl shown in it is wearing a long, flowing dress, looking down with a small smile.
And also...
She breathes out slowly and my eyes narrow. It's the sound people make when they're acting calm, but they're angry.
Should you want it, I have an extra room available in my library, with a soft bed and a warm meal. You may stay as long as you wish.
I'm giving you free rooms. Stay with me, please.
Mm.
Huh?
After I just tried to rob her, she's offering me a place to stay.
Maybe she's into those kind of like bad girls.
Yeah, true. It's like, no. I know you. Stay with me, please.
I can fix her.
Okay, now I know this must be a trap. There's no way. Although, the same thing she asked me last night before I broke in. I'm sure she doesn't remember that.
Why?
Because I have more beds than I could possibly fill and more food than I could eat. If there is someone who wants or needs them, is it not appropriate to share these with them?
I will, I'm going to assume that she's like a rich girl, but at the same time, I'm glad she's not like the pompous rich girl. Like, she's like, no, I have more than enough. Like, by all means,
Yeah.
come stay with me.
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm not sure what answer she wants to hear. She looks at me again, the same expression as it was in the library. Well, her offer does seem kind of tempting.
I guess it's not like my place is as nice as yours.
Not anymore, at least. Not after it rained and made half of it mud. Looked down at the painting again. If I sold it, it was just gonna be so I could buy the same thing she's offering me. I still don't trust her. I've watched people enough to know better than that. There must be something she wants. But I don't think she wants to hurt me. She knows I don't have anything worth stealing. If she did try to pull something, I could just run away. It's only one night. I could come back and try again, or find someplace else to take from. Look down to the burrow past where she's standing. Looks less a den and more a pile of mud. The thought of sleeping there again practically makes the decision for me.
Fine, I'll take it.
She breathes out slowly again and smiles. Maybe that sound doesn't mean she's angry.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. I should introduce myself properly. My name is Juliet. May I ask what yours is?
Miho.
I've had to introduce myself twice in a day now. It has to be a new record.
Well, Miho, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Let's return to the library. I can carry the painting if you'd like, or you may hold on to it until we get there.
I shrug.
Here, feel free.
She receives it very gently. I quickly fall in beside her, so begin to walk back. To my relief, she doesn't try to make any conversation. Instead, she silently cradles the painting as we go. When we get back to the library, the lights are off and the door is still unlocked. After setting the painting down on the desk, Juliet gestures towards the stairs.
It's on the second floor.
I follow her lead again as she stops at one of the closed doors. She unlocks it and lets me in. The room is simple and cozy, with a couple dressers, a table, and a bed. Over the bed is a boxy window with a wide sill, big enough to sit on. On the table there's a cheese sandwich and a few apple slices, plus some sort of cake. There's also a pitcher of water.
I hope the food is to your liking. 2 rooms down the hall from here, you'll find a refrigerator, and you may help yourself to anything in there. My study is just past that. If you need anything, don't hesitate to come find me. Is there anything more I can bring for you?
I shake my head, still in disbelief. What am I even supposed to say in a situation like this? I just stole from her and now I have both a bed and food in return? As if to answer my confusion, she gives a calm smile. Doesn't help.
Then I'll leave you to it. We can speak again in the morning. Good night, Miho.
The door shuts behind her. I expect to hear Juliet lock it. When I try the knob after giving her a few moments, the door opens quietly to the dark hall. Juliet's nowhere to be seen. Pull the door back shut behind me and inspect the room, looking for any hidden threats. Also check the food, sniffing it to make sure there's no poison or anything. If there is, I can't smell it, so I dig in instead.
Whoa. This is really good.
Alright, I'll let you go from here.
There's 3 different kinds of cheese in the sandwich, which is 2 more kinds than I knew existed. Wow. The bread is soft and buttery, and when I take a bite out of the apple, juice rolls down my chin. The water that I wash it down Tastes better than the water in the stream by my den. When I'm done eating, I climb into the bed, still feeling overwhelmed. More specifically, not knowing how to feel. Parts of me fear I made some gigantic mistake. And that I'll wake up in danger. And if I ever wake up at all, trusting my instincts have kept me alive on multiple occasions for hundreds of years. Enough that I've lost count of exactly how many. But something tells me I don't have anything to fear from the woman who I can only assume is my host and the owner of this place. So, with that in mind, I pull the blankets up to my chin and adjust the luxurious pillows beneath my head. Who knows? Maybe the morning will bring trouble with it. But right now, just sleeping sounds alright. I wake up to the sound of birds chirping loudly outside. Blinking wearily, I prop myself up and look towards the warm sunlight beaming through the window. The sheets under my bed feel soft and dry. My hand goes to my neck, taking in the smooth familiarity of my necklace.
It's still here.
If someone was going to rob me, that's the only thing I have left that would seem valuable. I sit up and look around. It doesn't look like anyone came in while I was asleep. Maybe I really am safe here. I wonder if Juliet's friend was the scent I've noticed outside my den on the first morning. I don't know how else she could have found me, or how they did it without waking me up. If it happened before, it could happen again, as much as I hate to admit it. So I check around the room very thoroughly, but still don't notice any different from when I went to bed.
Maybe it's not a trick.
All my past experiences have told me that there has to be a catch. Nothing is free. Nothing. But no matter how hard I try, I can't figure out what it could be. Could Juliet really have been telling the truth? It just seems so unlikely. It'd be nice if it was true. But if it wasn't, if I'd let myself believe, only to be wrong in the end, then that would hurt even more, wouldn't it? No. Better to not take the risk. After all, I lived a lot of years this way, and it's not like I hate it. Baka. Making my mind making my mind up helps me feel better right away too. It just makes more sense. Even if I try to stay, I don't think I'd ever stop worrying. This way, I'll know for sure that I'm in charge of my own destiny. Now that I know this room is unoccupied, I might be able to sneak back in sometimes when I need a place to stay. It wouldn't be too hard to climb one of the trees and then to get the window from there. Or you could just stay there for a few more nights.
I know!
Why make it awkward for yourself, woman?
I don't trust anybody.
Ah! Trust no bitch. I take one last look around. And just for the night, it was a nice what if. Then I head downstairs and out of the door. Without speaking a word to anyone. It's another nice day. The same as when I arrived in Wellington. Warm sun and blue skies, with just a hint of clouds. For a while, I meander around the town, eating the last of my pastries from the convenience store hall for breakfast. Today feels like another restart. I have no den, no supplies, no anything. It's less exciting now than it was when I first arrived. I don't have a destination in mind, but eventually end up at the waterfront. An airship over the bay, descending closer towards the skyport. A couple of kids down the beach wave up at it, seeming excited. The people arriving on that ship all have somewhere that they're planning to go when they're off her. They've all got people waiting to see them. What have I got? Some trash and an old scroll. So far, Wellington's given me nothing but questions. They never bothered me before, in any of the other cities I've been to. So why now? Guess that's another question for the pile. I push myself off the railing and head back into town. I go through the motions of scouting for somewhere to rebuild my den, but my heart really isn't in it. After wandering for a while, I end up at the Bell House yet again. It is a place that I go when I have nowhere else to go. There are more customers than usual, so there are 2 people working behind the counter. It only takes a brief glance to notice that one of them is Aspen.
Let's go! Aspen's here!
Aspen, yes!
Yes, Grape, we are playing a Yuri visual novel.
Aspen. I wonder if she'll think that I like a fairy kiss chiller again. Or maybe I make a different sort of first impression today. The line moves pretty quickly. It helps that Aspen doesn't spill anything this time. When it's my turn to order, I step up to a counter with a fake smile.
Oh, hello! What can I make for you today? I'll have a fairy kiss chiller, please. Certainly. Good choice.
I reach for my wallet to pay, but she stops me.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's on the house today.
Ayo.
Great! What does that mean?
It means that you don't have to pay for it. As an apology for yesterday.
She remembers! Let's go!
She remembers us! No! Oh no!
Yesterday? That sounds so strange. I nearly missed her talking, my mind having tripped over the word. She reaches for a cup, the pen already in her hand.
And that's for Miho, right?
For Miho?
My name? She remembers my name? My heart begins to race wildly, my body reacting just as strongly as my mind. Aspen frowns, clearly noticing that something's off. My head's too much of a daze to deal with it, though.
It is Miho, right?
She checks a notebook on the counter, brow furrowing deeply as her finger slowly moves from the page and taps on one of the lines. What do I say? How do I explain? For the first time in my life, for the first time in hundreds of years, somebody's remembered my name. It's supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be forgotten. Every time, without fail. It's my armor. It's my life. I take a step backwards. I have to run. I have to get out of here. I have to get away. But where to? I've just been running. And I don't have anywhere else to turn to run to. But I don't have any other choice. Without a plan or destination, I turn on my heel and bolt outside, not daring to look back. Everything is wrong. I have to go.
Miho!
She calls my name again as I disappear into the street. It's not the first time I heard that as I fled. But never like this. Never with such a confused, worried tone. Some feeling sick to my stomach. I pushed myself to run even faster. Maybe I should just leave this whole city, get on the next airship out of here, and act like it never happened. I could go somewhere else, back to China or America or anywhere, and start over again. Within days, it'd be like I never even came to Wellington. My life would go back to normal, and eventually I'm sure Aspen and Juliet would forget me, just like they're supposed to. Nothing would be different. Except that's not quite true. I wouldn't forget what happened here, even if everyone else did. No matter what, I'm sure I won't be able to get past these past few days out of my mind. When I get to Mount Victoria, I finally stop running. Not because this place is special or because I wanted to come here, but because I don't know where else I'd go. I'd make my way up to the top of the mountain, just like I did on my first day.
I'll go from here.
Okay.
The view, which I admired so much last time, doesn't do much for me now. Instead, the city looks cluttered and confused from up here. My chest hurts from running so long. I'm much more used to quick bursts of sprinting to get away from something or someone. Guess that's still what I'm trying to do right now. But I'm not too sure what it is that I'm running from. Whenever something goes wrong, my first instinct is to flee. Aspen remembering me definitely counts as something wrong. But when I stop to think about why, some of the reasons are obvious. Mostly, what if it's not just Aspen? What if everybody can remember me now? Or even worse, what if people who forgot about me a long time ago start to remember me? Both could get me in a lot of trouble. My days as a thief would probably be over. There are some places where I could never show my face again. The smart thing to do is to leave. I could even see a couple airships at the skyport right now. I have everything with me. I could just go. There's nothing keeping me here. And yet, I don't move. I still don't even know what it is I'd be running away from. From Aspen? From Wellington? When I think about it, I have to admit that running wouldn't get me anywhere. This worry, these questions would follow me wherever I go, no matter how far and no matter how long. So then what do I do? The only answer I could think of is the scariest one. The one that goes against everything I've ever learned. Closing my eyes, picture the library and Juliet's offer. I picture Aspen, whom I barely know, who's already changed my life. Maybe I should stay and try to find out more. Maybe, just maybe, being remembered might not be all bad. I clench my fist so tightly my knuckles turn white. The urge to turn tail and head for the skyport is so strong, it's almost like a magnet pulling me there. I resist it though. Slowly I walk back down the mountain, making my way to the library. I'm not sure what to say when I get there. Explain everything to Juliet and hope she'll let me stay in that room again. I don't even need the room. I could rebuild my den and hide out there. Maybe in a new spot, one that Juliet doesn't know about. Not having to worry about the weather or other animals would be nice though. No telling if Juliet remembered me too. If not, it might be easier to pretend it's my first time visiting and just ask if there's anywhere I could stay. Even though I'm not moving very fast, I still don't feel ready for this conversation by the time I reach the library's entrance. It's only been an hour or so since I left the Bell House, so it's not late enough for the library to be closed. Usual stream of people flows in and out the doors.
Okay, I can do this.
I stand off to the side of the entrance, preparing myself as people pass to and fro. My heart is racing the same way it does during a tense break-in, maybe even harder. My tail twitches back and forth. Usually I don't notice, but right now, I'm super aware of everything about myself. Fighting off my instincts, I open the door and let myself inside. I've been expecting to have to look for Juliet, but instead, she's right by the entrance. What surprises me most, however, the woman leaning against the large desk beside her, Aspen, is now engaged in conversation with a look of deep concern on her face. I barely catch the end of Juliet's sentence. She notices me only moments after I spot her, and for a second, her mouth forms a perfect O of surprise. Aspen turns around to follow Juliet's gaze, her eyes opening wide at the sight of me.
Oh, two beautiful ladies recognize us. Shit.
I don't know why it's auto-playing.
Hey there.
Because, like, I didn't get time. Hello? I'm not auto-playing. I want to read. Okay, let me save. Oh, I haven't done a hard save. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Return. Like, I don't know why it's auto-playing. I think over to where they're standing, hands in my pockets, unsure of what I should say first.
It's nice to see you again, Miho. I was hoping that you'd return.
Me too. That was pretty sudden. I worked extra hard on that drink for you, you know.
I freeze up, looking for the words. Aspen's expression softens in concern.
Miho? Alright, the drink. I'm sorry. Well, I ended up drinking it myself, so I suppose I can't complain.
I mean, no reason to waste it.
No. So, my boyfriend in the Netherlands got me some chocolate for Valentine's Day, and I accidentally left it in the fridge when I went back. So he ate it. So that's a mood. But he's still gonna get me some new chocolate in April, though.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I said, yeah, you owe me a new bar of chocolate.
I remember being a barista, we would have people call in their orders ahead of time.
Yeah.
And they would not come pick it up. And I'm just like, okay, Chief, can I just have this coffee? And my manager would be like, yeah, sure, Gray, go ahead and have it. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Oh. Got a raid. Let me give you a quick shout out real quick. Hello, everyone. We are playing Please Be Happy. And we have a reader here with us. You want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Heroynex. You can call me Kira for short. And I'm just happy to be here.
Glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Again, sorry that I'm also getting a little dizzy myself right now, just like from reading. So it's like, I don't know what's up. It's just hard. But hello, welcome in. We're probably gonna play for like another 10 or so minutes.
Yeah. Cool.
Then we'll call it from there. How are you finding PBH? I love it. It's cute. I freeze up, looking for the words. Aspen's expression softens in concern. She laughs, and I can't stop myself from blurting out my next words.
You seem different.
I'm sorry?
Like, less polite?
Well, I'm not at work anymore, am I?
Ah, she put on the work face mask that we all do.
The customer service voice. That's a mood.
You have a fave at the moment? Personally, I like Juliet.
I love Aspen.
Okay.
I love them all.
True. All of them. All of them are pretty nice. What am I even saying? What was I planning on saying again?
Will you be staying for a while, Miho? If so, we can continue this conversation in the dining room. It's a bit more private there.
Juliet takes charge of the conversation effortlessly, and I accidentally sigh in relief.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great. I'm not gonna run away again.
They all should kiss. If it turns out to where it's not just like you pick one and you go down a route and it's just like a poly thing, then that'd be the first that I think I've seen that in a visual novel. Now that I think about it.
That would be lovely.
Is this a sim or a visual novel? This is a visual novel. As far as I'm aware, it's a visual novel.
I'm glad to hear that. Right this way, then.
What's the difference between like a dating sim and a visual novel? Because they're kind of like similar to me.
I guess a dating sim. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, people. A dating sim is more you pick the choices and you go down routes, while a visual novel is just like the story and you have the illusion of choice, but there isn't one.
Oh, okay.
Visual novels and media, dating sim is the genre. Gotcha. So like, have you ever played or seen any of the Higurashi visual novels or Umineko?
No.
So they're murder mysteries, but the thing is though is that like there's a definite story that each arc has. So like even though there's choices in the dialogue, no matter your choice, the events still play out. So like it's the illusion of free choice and to have you still like operate within the story.
Oh. Is it like similar like for Until Dawn, where you think that each choice leads to ending, but it only leads to certain few endings, if that makes sense?
Kind of. I know,
Kind
if
of,
I'm not
yeah.
mistaken, Higurashi is like a definite. There's only one ending, while other dating sims have like, if you make a certain choice, if you go with person A, person B is no longer within the story.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna let you read from here.
Okay. Juliet leads the way down the hall and into one of the locked rooms. We enter a cozy little room with a table and a few chairs, as well as a fridge. The three of us sit down, although I move my chair so I'm not so close to the others.
How much promo material have you seen? Yeah, you've played the demo.
I played the demo about like 4 years ago. I've seen it announced in the Wholesome Direct stream for 2021. So I tried out the demo. So that's the only thing that I knew about the game.
And I only know of this game because Studio Alon, I really love their artwork. It's really pretty. And of course, their whole like shtick is making Yuri visual novels. So like I've just had my eye on them, and then they were like, "Here you go. You want to try out the game?" And I'm like, "Yes, please. I want to play the pretty girl game."
Yeah, the pretty girl game.
Because that's pretty nice.
Yeah, designs are really beautiful.
They're really nice. The only thing is like if you've played one Studio Alon game, like the designs kind of cross over to their other ones because they all have the same artist, I believe. It's just that, you know, different story background, of course. But hey, if the art is pretty, I want to know who they don't? Oh, am I wrong? I thought they did. Well, you guys get to look at the store page with me. Let's go to Studio Alon and see what we got. They have a few different artists. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Twofold does look different. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like Twofold looks a little bit different, and then First Snow without a voice.
Okay. I do like the National Park Girls one. It looks pretty.
That looks really nice, yeah.
It's just art direction preference in their games.
Oh, the waters above.
Oh, I love the waters above. It looks like a magical girl one.
It does.
And then Hallway Blossoms isn't showing me any visuals.
Yeah, I know that they're currently doing a demo for like a Dark Yuri visual novel. And I looked a bit earlier.
National Park Girls was done by Satchley, same artist who did Doki Doki. That's why it looks similar.
Yeah. Now that I see it now. Oh my god.
There's a studio dedicated to Yuri visual novels. Yeah, if you like Yuri visual novels, Studio Alon is perfect for it. I know they have a TikTok because they also made they have a VTuber of their mascot.
Oh, wow.
And I've been looking at their TikToks and it's just funny to see them. But yeah, be sure to check them out. Melanie, is that their name? Okay. So I didn't know that she even had a name. But yeah, let's get back to reading real fast. What's up?
Can I get you anything to eat or drink, Miho?
I shake my head. I'm hungry, but I'm way too nervous to eat. Juliet smiles in response to my answer, which came a little too quickly to sound natural. By the way both she and Aspen are looking at me, I can tell they're expecting me to say something first. None of the words I have planned are coming back to me. What do people even say in a situation like this? Temptation to run away is overwhelming. The door is just a few feet behind me. My knuckles whiten as I tightly clench my fist in my lap, pushing myself to resist the urge. I told myself I'm going to take this chance, even if it's the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm going to be I'm going to be honest with them.
Well...
I struggle to think of what to say. Juliet waits patiently, her eyes gazing coolly in my direction more than directly at mine. Aspen soon grows restless, however, her expression clouded with concern.
Sorry. I don't know how to just say things. I've only ever copied other people's, so
Aspen's expression clears up in some sort of understanding.
It's okay, Miho. Take your time.
So I don't really know how to talk like this.
You're doing just fine.
If you say so. It's not just talking either. I don't know much about anything. Well, anything human. All I really know about is being a fox. And all we foxes care about is how to survive. It might be hard to believe, but I'm not a normal fox either. There's something kinda special about me. Kinda different.
I finger the beads around my neck. Their constant warmth and presence is reassuring. I avoid looking at either Aspen's or Juliet's face. What else?
Usually, I have to steal to get by. I don't just have to, I like to. I'm good at it too. That's how I ended up meeting Juliet.
Kind of a weird say to, like, try to flex, but you know what? We'll take it. We understand you're damaged, girly.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm so good at it is because I don't know why it happens, but ever since I got my human form, everyone forgets me. Even the people who catch me stealing from them. After a day or two, I can walk right past their face and they wouldn't even recognize me. No one has ever recognized me. Until Aspen remembered who I was at the Bell House. It was such a shock that I ran away. That's what I always do. I was thinking about leaving Wellington forever, even though I just arrived a couple days ago. I'm still kind of tempted. But instead, I came back here. And that's it.
Just hearing the words coming out of my mouth makes me want to die of embarrassment. It makes me uncomfortable when other people think about me. And yet, putting everything out there feels surprisingly good. It feels like a weight has come off my shoulders. There's no going back now, and that's a relief in its own way.
So you're saying that you've never ever had a family? Or a friend?
Nope, never. And not since I stopped being a regular fox, at least.
Oh. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Why?
Well, because that's... not to be rude, but that sounds rather lonely to me.
Lonely, huh? I've never thought about it before.
I see.
Aspen sits back, still looking concerned. From the way she keeps fidgeting, I get the impression she wants to say more, but is holding back. Juliet swoops in to salvage the situation.
You have been very brave to stay here, Miho. I'm personally glad that you decided to come back to the library. I had your room prepared in hopes that you would. You're welcome to use it for as long as you'd like. I think that we could become great friends.
And they were roommates.
Yep.
Friends.
What is friends? Can I eat them? I can they talk? I roll the word I roll the word around my mind, as if it was a strange food I'm gingerly trying. Can I eat it? Is that a word that fits me? Is that something I could have? It's never seemed like a possibility before. None of what Juliet's offered me has. Right now, it feels I'm standing at the end of one path and the beginning of another. I could turn around and go back the way I came, back to the den, and a life spent alone. I know that world. I lived in it for so many years. But I can't just go back. Not now. Not when there can be something more, something new. Everything could be different if I just let it. When I look at Aspen and Juliet, I can tell what they're hoping I'll say.
I think I'd like that.
Big smiles take over both of their faces. Oh, that is so beautiful.
I like both of them.
Oh, Juliet looks so beautiful, especially the way her hand is placed on her face. Slowly, I let myself smile too.
Well then, Miho. Welcome home.
Okay, I thought that it was actually like done. I got scared for a second.
It's like, well, that was actually that was what I played up to in the demo, because that's when the demo ended.
Okay, really?
Yeah, so that was the first chapter.
Okay, wow. So I'm gonna save it there, and we will have to come back to it for sure.
Yes.
All right, so we'll overwrite this slot.
Mm-hmm.
And again, thank you for playing with me. It was a lot of fun. Again, thank you, because again, it's like reading for too long just makes me very tired, and I get lightheaded, and I'd rather not be sick the rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me and having me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So gonna find somebody to raid. And I would like to do this you know, a recurring thing if possible. It's totally up to you if you want to make this a recurring thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you want to make it a recurring thing, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we can discuss in the DMs of whenever is a good day for you. But yes, just keep an eye on socials, and we will talk about it more again when it comes up. But in the meantime, we are going to raid. Let me find somebody real fast. Let's go say hi to... I just had somebody. Let's go say hi to Betty. They're doing Cookie Run. Isn't that the gotcha game with cookies?
I cannot remember.
Let's say, yes, it is. It is indeed the gotcha game with cookies.
Yeah, I feel like one's a gacha game, one's like a running game. I can't remember.
Let me copy and paste their name because they spell it weird. We'll see. Raid. Okay, thank you for having me, or thank you for joining me. And yeah, we will we will play again in the future.
Hey.
All right. Hope you have a good one.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream of Please Be Happy with Hero. Let me give him a quick shout out real fast. Shout out Heroynex. Boom. Heroynex. Be sure to give them some love. What do you mean the channel was not found? Did I misspell it? There's no way I misspelled it. Maybe I did. Maybe I'm stupid. We'll see. Shout out. Boom. There we go. They were us playing BDST because we raided them yesterday, obviously. But yeah, be sure to give them some love. They're just lovely. Lovely to have around. Lovely to be around as well. And yeah, hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. Meantime, like I said, we are going to be raiding Betty. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. And until next time, y'all, have a good one. Bye-bye.